The challenge is to find something under 7 grand, under 100,000 miles. That's not just a Hyundai Elantra. Something that's more inspirational, more fun. For me, a manual transmission. I realize that's different for everybody, but it's hard to find that usually under that $7,000 price category. Some of you will say it's a piece of cake, but I found it's really not that easy to find something with a good, well maintained history that wasn't in a whole bunch of accidents. I'm not talking about a salvage title. I'm talking about just a nice, clean ride under 100,000 miles that is fun to drive, that you're not going to be putting a new transmission in a couple weeks after you own it. So under $7,000, it can be done. It's not easy, but it can be done, and you have to look. And sometimes the time of year makes a difference. I found sometimes the same exact car will sell at a $2,000 premium in a summer season versus a winter season. So there's a lot of different factors involved. So stick with me while we check out the idea of finding a car under 7 grand. It's a lot of fun. All right, so the first thing that came to mind when I started this project is how hard can it be? Okay, big mistake. After months of research, months of looking, driving tons of different cars, if there's any I missed, please let me know. It really was a challenge in trying to find something. And I really wanted to break into that $5,000 barrier. I found several cars under 7 grand. I think when you start lowering it under 5 grand, it gets a little tougher. And I found going further than 12 years or so, you start getting into more rust problems. More salvage titles, more things like that when you start getting under 5,000 bucks. However, I did really really well. I raced across town 7 hours, and got there right before dark to meet a great owner who showed me all of the paperwork. He was the original owner, so he had all of the history on the car, and it was a really great experience as far as dealing with the owner's concerned. Now, I will say this: if you go to another state, you want to make sure that you understand their laws. Some states require a notary to transfer title. Some you can just sign it over. But if you do it wrong, you'll void the title. And you don't want to get back to your state and find out that you voided the title because you filled it out wrong. So make sure you cross your T's, dot your I's, know the Bureau of Motor Vehicles and what they require to obtain a temp tag to get back home, because you really don't want to put false plates on your car, because you're going to end up towed. You really don't want to do that. So understand all of your stuff. I recommend you bring cash. Certified checks are great and all, but cash makes everybody and all parties involved much more comfortable. So without further ado, here's my project. So initially, one of the cars that I had looked at and driven before was this 2009 A3 with the S-Line package. And although I was a big fan of the handling of the car and the more aggressive styling, it just wasn't in the budget at $8,000 for 118,000 miles. So the 06 that I picked up has a premium package with the premium wheels, the sky roof, and the heated seats, which is a big bonus where I live. Now all the cars have the same power plant, which is a 2-liter turbocharged engine, direct injection with 200 horsepower and 207 foot-pounds of torque. And on a curb weight of about 3,300 pounds, you should see 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds, and a quarter mile time about 15 flat. Now my 06 has a little bit different engine cover, it's a little bit different look, but the car comes out to be a fun car, not a really fast car, but a good platform to work with. So as we make our way to the interior, you're greeted with some nice aluminum trim and soft touch material. You have this hatch release and your fuel door release at the bottom of the door panel. You have this very comfortable seat with its stitching and all your controls and your lumbar support. You'll have a very soft touch material runs around the dash. This is actually the 2009 you're looking at here, with a little bit different center stack than the 06. A little bit wider radio, and it's arranged a little bit differently. But you do have this nice business card holder for all the models. Of course, you have dual zone climate control. And a 6-stage heated seat from my 06 because the 09 didn't have it. Now my 2006 has a power outlet and a cigarette lighter below the center armrest. If you go with an 09, you have a nice little aux cable in there. So something to consider if you're looking to pick up one of these cars sometime. And I really wasn't a big fan of the way the door closes. It's just not a good sound. Something that was improved in later models. Now as we make our way to the back seat, you have our nice soft seat with plenty of room. I had front adjusted for 6-foot adult, plenty of room for my knees. A comfortable ride for 4 people, no doubt. That's why I was convinced that this was the car for me after driving it. You of course have illumination for your rear passengers. As we make our way to the trunk, you of course have a spare, which I've had the pleasure of using already. You have a nice little net pocket there, a power outlet, and it's illuminated. You have a nice adjustable headrest in the rear. You can see my nice little door damage right there. To be expected. Oh, you can see my nice little unlock button. It's bubbled a little bit. It's got a nice glove box with that's felt lined and with some extra storage shelves. Nice little light in there too, and it's lockable. Nice little storage pocket at the bottom. You have all your map lights and your roof controls right in the center. You of course have HomeLink. You have vanity mirrors with lights. Only downside in here is the shade is broken, but really don't need it. The glass is tinted so well I don't even realize the light is bothering me. Overall, just a great, fun car. I couldn't be happier. So although it would have been much easier to spend plenty more money on a faster, more modern car, I tested my patience to purchase a fun, well-maintained project car at a rock-bottom price of just $4,400 with less than 80,000 miles on the clock. Now looking back on it, there was a number of different ways this could have gone, or different cars I could have ended up with. But there's something to be said for the reaction of your peers when they realize what kind of deal you just got. Now, it's your turn. You up for it? Thanks for watching.